Book of the Dead of Tia's Nacht. This scene shows one of the most important events, according to ancient Egyptian belief, of the long journey that the soul of the deceased had to make to reach the afterlife. The weighing of the heart ceremony is the main scene in the Book of the Dead, which is a type of manual helpful in overcoming all the dangers that the soul would encounter on its journey to the afterlife. This particular depiction comes from a papyrus about 8.5 meters long and 35 centimeters in height. It is the Book of the Dead that belonged to Tia's Nacht, a woman whom we know nothing about except that she belonged to a wealthy family, judging by the quality of this Book of the Dead papyrus. There is a column on each side of the scene, framing the image and creating the limits of the courtroom known as the Hall of Two Truths. From the right, the deceased Tia's Nacht enters wearing a long white dress. She is greeted by the goddess of justice, Ma'at, who can be identified by the ostrich feather on her head. Continuing towards the center of the scene, there is a scale with two plates. On the right one, there is the heart of the deceased, the center of emotions, intelligence, and wisdom. And on the left one, there is the feather of Ma'at. If the scales were balanced equally, the soul of the deceased was considered pure and would be reborn in the netherworld and live forever. Below the scales, we find two gods. On the right, we have Horus with the head of a falcon, who raises one arm and is ready to release the scales. And on the left, Anubis with the head of a jackal. He was in charge of embalming the bodies of the deceased and accompanying their souls to the afterlife. Crouching on top of the scales is a baboon who represents a form of the deity Thoth, the god of writing. The same god is depicted on the left of the scale, this time with the head of an ibis and a human body. He holds a sheet of papyrus and a paintbrush, ready to record the result of the heart weighed against the feather. Further on the left, we find the goddess Ammit, waiting on a pedestal. She has the body of a hippopotamus, the paws of a lion, and the head of a crocodile. She is known as the devourer of the dead, with the task of tearing heavy hearts apart and destroying them forever, with no hope of rebirth for the soul. In front of Ammit are four little mummiform gods, figures that appear wrapped like mummies. From right to left, they have the heads of a falcon, jackal, baboon, and man, each protecting a vital internal organ of the deceased, the intestines, stomach, liver, and lungs. During the long process of embalming the dead, each of these four organs was preserved in a vase known as a canopic jar and placed next to the body. On the far left, looking over the whole scene, is Osiris, the god of the dead. He's seated on a throne, holding the scepters of power, and wears a tall crown adorned with two feathers. Above all the figures in the scene, there are the 42 judges of the afterlife inside the room. In crouched positions, they supervise the trial and ensure it runs smoothly. During the trial, the deceased had to make the so-called declaration of innocence or negative confession, saying phrases such as, "I have not committed any wrongdoing against men," "I have not killed," "I have not stolen from the poor," "I have not taken milk from the mouths of children," and several other statements to prove that their soul was pure and deserved eternal life.